Hello Wolfpack, we're looking at Bitcoin today. I've just recorded a whole video, uploaded to YouTube and realized we've had no sound, but we're in Bitcoin today and that's just how it is today, I guess. And first and foremost, before I want to get into the video, I want to ask you guys a question, particularly for my subscribers. I have questions on a daily basis from multiple people asking as to whether I should start or whether I have a trading course of some sort or trading videos, learn to trade kind of thing, where they should learn to trade. And I'm contemplating at this point starting a learn to trade course. And I'm curious as to what you guys think of it. What you guys would think about joining up to it or not. And if you don't want to join up, that's perfectly fine. Please go ahead and vote in the poll regardless. I have kind of an idea here. So my answers are yes, I would like to take a live session course in which I personally, in a live session, teach you similar to a university class. And then yes, I like to take a pre-recorded course so you can basically get an access link and access pre-recorded videos and learn at your own pace, or you can just say no. Even if you don't want to, please go ahead and vote in the poll if you appreciate the content. It helps me out with numbers, helps me out deciding whether I should actually do it. But jumping into Bitcoin for the second time today, what we can see is that, well, we're in an ascending wedge structure, and although we've had a move upwards, right, we've moved upwards from 41k to 44k, 44.5k in about a day or 2 days here. Although we have done that, we're still seeing at this point descending volume in this upwards trend, and we're still seeing this ascending wedge formation or supposed ascending wedge formation, right? We don't have 3 tests of each side yet, and so we can't actually label it quite clearly as a descending wedge, but I can kind of understand how this could be perceived as an ascending wedge, and personally I would favor this being ascending wedge than anything else, because in ascending wedges you typically see descending volume, because ascending wedges are bearish formations, right? When you see descending volume in an ascending wedge, that's confirmation that it actually is an ascending wedge. That's confirmation that it's going to break to the downside, okay? And so, you know, whether it actually breaks for downside or not is obviously dependent on many factors. But as of right now on Bitcoin, I'm not seeing any reason to believe that this is a bullish structure. Now, my friend Mega Whale has drawn out on one of his recent videos a long-term descending channel formation that we're seeing a breakout of right now. But even as of that, even in that channel formation, we're still acting towards resistance, and we're still below resistance. And so there's no real reason I'm seeing to be bullish right now. Below the 200, below the Ikomoku, below the bull market support band, we're below the POC on the volume profile. So everything is still negative right now. And ultimately, as you guys would know, if you're not familiar with my predictions, my prediction right now is we're going down to the 200-week SMA on Bitcoin. And my invalidation point for that prediction, so the point in which I will admit that prediction is wrong, or most likely wrong, is 48k. Okay, so if we get above 48k, that is a good indicator that, hey, it actually does look bullish, because we would have jumped above everything I just listed, and we would have reformed that bullish structure. Now, what I am seeing on Bitcoin, and what a lot of people would bring up to me, is that we're seeing a inverted head and shoulders pattern, which is bullish, right? Undeniably bullish. But even under that logic, and even under the logic that plays out to the upside, there still is evidence to suggest that Bitcoin will be retesting 48k. And you think, why is that? Why is that? You know, why is there suggesting evidence that will predict that will go back up to 48k even if we're bearish? Well, one of the reasons is the fact that this fractal, which is ripped straight out of 2018, okay, you can find my previous video on a Bitcoin, I explain this more in depth, right? This fractal's come straight out of 2018, straight out of the dead cat bounce region, which is what I suppose to be where we are right now. So a very similar time in the market in 2018, this purple fractal applied to right now, extremely similar, right? It's not even adjusted on a day-to-day basis. It's only adjusted, via price. So the structure is actually identical here. And even now, when we're seeing a little bit of a divergence from this macro structure, this kind of, structure here of this fractal, we still saw on this fractal in this purple dots, a inverted head and shoulders pattern at the same time as we're seeing it now on the white and gray price lines. So the point is, we saw an inverted head and shoulders pattern in the same period of this fractal as we did in 2018, as we're seeing now. And so even though we're diverting from that fractal a little bit, the structure is still the same. And in 2018, during this period, when we saw this inverted head and shoulders pattern, we did jump up. And that would be evidence to suggest that we will jump up in Bitcoin as well. But what is important to note is that in 2018, when we did jump up, although adjusted to current prices, that would take us to 56k, right? In 2018, we actually rejected from the 50-week SMA. Currently on Bitcoin, the 50-week SMA is at 48k, okay? And given the fact 48k is our critical breaker as well, we can kind of assume that, hey, it is relatively likely that we're going to jump up to 48k before rejection, not 56, okay? So 48k is on the table here for Bitcoin. It's on the table. Does that mean it needs to happen? Not at all. And one of the reasons you could say that's not going to happen, on top of the fact that we're seeing descending volume, is the fact that, well, on this hourly time frame, we previously saw this ascending channel formation that was tested multiple times on the downside. Well, as of right now, Bitcoin is below this, and it's still rejecting right now. It's still seeing descending volume, and we're still seeing bearish RSI divergence, right? Even on the hourly time frame, all the way up to the daily time frame. Let me repeat that. On the hourly time frame, all the way up to the daily time frame, we're seeing bearish divergence heading up above the previous high. So even on the daily time frame here, we've seen a slight bearish divergence. We've head upwards slightly, head downwards slightly in the RSI, head upwards slightly in the price. So that is a bad sign. And there's lots of bad signs right now in the market that would kind of suggest that, hey, we need to look deeper than what is on the surface here for Bitcoin. A lot of people are looking at this inverted head and shoulders pattern. They're looking at the bottom at 33K. We're currently at 44, and they're thinking, this has got to be a reversal. You know, this is a very good reversal. We're seeing upwards momentum, but they're not looking deeper, because I can tell you right now that every single dead cat bounce we have ever had on 2014, on 2018, on 2019, we have seen descending volume. We have never seen an actual recovery on Bitcoin to new all-time highs when the bounce started with descending volume. This is, by all historical measures, a dead cat bounce. And by all historical measures, it should not get higher than 48K, right? It might get to 48, but at that point, that would be the rejection zone. And so if we get above 48K, that's when we consider being bullish again. But right now, people are looking too much on a surface level, right? We need to look deeper. And when we're looking deeper, we're actually seeing the, hey, you know, the structure isn't actually that bullish, and there's not much momentum behind this move, unfortunately, for Bitcoin. Dead cat bounces happen all the time. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it goes higher to 48 here, even though it's weak. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And before I actually sign off, let me just remind you again, please go ahead, go to my channel, go to the community tab, vote in this poll. It will help me out to find out with numbers. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, guys, and I'll catch you in my next video.